Alfred Kwiecinski was born on August 3, 1924, in Warsaw, Poland, to Evelyn and Ludwik Kwiecinski. In 1939, Poland was invaded by Germany, and in 1942, he was arrested with a large group of Poles of different ages and imprisoned in a Warsaw prison for approximately 90 days. He was shipped to Auschwitz and about 2 months later shipped to Schwecht, a suburb of Vienna, Austria, where he spent approximately 2.5 years in a labor concentration camp, working on component parts for Henkel's piloted rocket aircraft, along with German and other political prisoners. Al was liberated by the American 11th Armored Division on May 5, 1945, and spent the next 2 years working for the United States Forces, Austria. Al arrived in New York in October 1947 on a special visa, and as soon as he received his first papers, enlisted in the U.S. Army, and after completion of basic training was sent to Japan. He spent the next 48 months in Japan and Korea with the 8th Army and 1st Cavalry Division, and was discharged in New York and naturalized 2 months later. Al spent the next 7 years working for the New York branch of Diebold's microfilm division. While working for Diebold in New York, Al took advantage of the GI Bill of Rights, and after attending night classes for 6 years, received his business degree from Pace College in New York. In 1959, Al was offered a job with the New York station Mosler to be in charge of their new office systems division with emphasis on mechanical records retrieval systems. Less than 2 years later, he was transferred to Hamilton, Ohio to spearhead the transfer of Mosler's marketing department. He went on to spend more than 5 years as a product manager for their systems division. In 1966, Al started the Hamilton Sorter Company out of a 2-story house on Bell Avenue. Beginning with just 4 employees, the only product they offered was a manual paper sorting device, which would come to be sold to office equipment dealers all over the country.
Al was a really good entrepreneur. He had great presence and attracted really good people around him to form his team.
Within a year, the company relocated to a newly constructed 8,000 square foot building on Production Drive in Fairfield, Ohio. Over the next 23 years, Al kept developing new products. Key products that drove the company's growth were ergonomic computer workstations, acoustical enclosures for high-speed printers, a unique line of office workstations, and a line of mailroom furniture that's still recognized today as state-of-the-art. Many of these unique products were patented and vigorously protected. As the company grew, manufacturing and office space on Production Drive expanded, purchasing 4 additional facilities. When Al sold the company in 1989, he had over 60,000 square feet of manufacturing and office space, and over 200 permanent and temporary employees. The original paper sorting device now represented less than 1% of total sales.
He sort of took me under his wing, and we had a good relationship. He taught me a lot about business, taught me a lot about family, taught me a lot about friendships, and very, very strong relationship over the years.
Hamilton Sorter products were sold by a national network of independent distributors who specialized in computer supplies, filing systems, and mailing machines. Al's oldest son, Gordon, joined the company after college in 1977 after spending all of his summers working for the company since its inception. Gordon stayed on to run the company for the new ownership until 1992. In 2016, Hamilton Sorter will celebrate its 50th anniversary. Many of the products that Al pioneered are still actively sold through its national network of independent dealers. A number of these dealers have represented Hamilton Sorter for over 40 years, a tribute to the loyalty that Al developed when he owned the company.
I think a lot of other people did not, over the years, understand his passion for life and his passion for the business. And he would always speak his mind, right, wrong, or indifferent, and a lot of people did not understand that. And I think it's the same thing that you'll hear about a lot of entrepreneurs, that people don't understand what makes an entrepreneur tick. But his passion for the business, his passion for life, his passion today to still do the things he wants to do, even at the ripe young age of 91, is something that's really unbelievable.
Al was a member of the Hugh L. Bates Masonic Lodge for 38 years. He is a 32nd degree Scottish Rites Mason, a Shriner, and has been a Rotarian for almost 50 years in Hamilton, Fairfield, as well as several clubs in Hawaii. Since retiring, Al and Pat have been actively involved in numerous organizations, including American Heart Association, Diamond Head Theater, Hawaii Theater, and Eisenhower Medical Center. Cruising became one of Al and Pat's favorite activities. They've cruised all over the world, including the Mediterranean, Australia, Europe, Japan, and several trips to Alaska. They also arranged multiple family vacations to Colorado, Montana, and most recently an Alaska cruise for all 29 family members. 2 years after he sold the company, Al and his wife Pat relocated to Hawaii, where they maintained a vacation home for many years. A few years ago, they decided to relocate back to the mainland and now reside in Indian Wells, California, so they can be closer to their family. Al and Pat have been married for 35 years and have 6 children between them: Gordon, Wanda, John, Karen, Andrea, and Michael. They are also proud grandparents of 14 grandchildren.
Al gave me a part-time job, allowed me to work during the summer around schedules, and he adopted me as one of his long-lost relatives, I think. We were very, very close. I was part of many, many good times at Hamilton Sorter. Al, one time, when I introduced my wife to him, eventually ended up getting married to her, it told me that I wasn't allowed to go on my honeymoon. And what he meant was I wasn't allowed to go to Florida on my honeymoon. He came back to me about a week later, and he said that rather than going to Florida, he was sending me to Hawaii for 2 weeks. So again, very, very special person in my life, and one that is very, very close to a lot of people.
Al, thank you for all that you have done for your community. Through your hard work and dedication, you have more than earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome, Al Kwiecinski, to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.